In this video, we're going to focus on how we can create a Venn diagram. Right now you can see we have coffee, tea, and hot chocolate here, or chocolate milk. And these three circles here has different items or description of that specific drink. And you can see here sour and bean. And then you can see what is connected with each other. And then also if each one has all three aspects together, such as a morning drink, it's hot drink, and dark as well. So let's start to look how to do this. So let's start to look at how to create a Venn diagram in Chart.js. So the first thing what we need is to get our default code. So make sure you go to chartjs-tree.com, getting started, and in here, this link is by the way also available in the description box. You can find it in there. Scroll down, and then we're going to copy this entire chunk of code. So once we copy this, and if you want to understand what this code does, make sure you watch this video here. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to paste that in there, and we'll cut out this. And then I will just remove that, save that here. Alright, refresh, there we are. So now we have a nice Venn chart, or sorry, a bar chart, and we have to convert it into a Venn chart. So how do we do that? Well, to do that, we need to go to chartjs.org, or specifically we're going to grab a specific plugin. So click here on ecosystem, and then scroll down here. You will find here eventually, if you scroll down somewhere here in the chart category, you can see many different charts, and what we need is the Venn chart, which supports Chart.js version number 3. You can see it creates a Venn chart and a Euler chart, or Euler chart, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Click on this, then we should be able to see here the link. And if I look at it here right now, I'm not able to see it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The link, if you want to find it, basically is this one here. On the unpackaged, if you would do like this, remove this, basically this is the one we need. We need this HTTP and then the unpackaged chartjs-chart-venn, and then of course 3.6. But if I click on this and press enter on it, it will grab you automatically the full link. So copy that, and then scroll down here, and then what we're going to do in here is paste that in there. Put this in here, save that one, or put that in there, cut that out, put it in there, save, refresh. Alright, so nothing happens here. So what we need to do here, first of all, is to convert it into a Venn type. So that's the first thing what we're going to do. And then I'm going to remove, of course, the scales, because we don't have any scales. If I save this and refresh, alright, it does something. But here is the issue. Of course, it doesn't make any sense if we're going to our data here. So what I want to do here is to convert this now correctly. So let's basically we can remove all of this because we need to make our own version of it. So what I want to do here, let's comment all of this out. And then what I want to say here, constant data, and this will be differently. So I guess we can just delete everything here, because the structure of this is slightly different than what we're used to. So I'm going to say a chart-venn, and then we say a dot, extract, sets, and this is basically a command or a function within the Venn chart JavaScript file, which is this one here. So then in here, I'm going to put in an enter, alright, semicolon here, and then here we're going to put in a bracket. And in this bracket, because basically we're going to create now an array with certain values. And what I want to do here is the following. I'm going to say here, well, let's make first, instead of here we have 3 circles, let's make only 2 circles. So I'm going to say here, the first one would be the label, and let's say here coffee. So we have coffee. And then in the coffee, I'm going to put an enter here as well. We need to indicate our values, and the values is also an array. So we can just say, because the goal of a Venn chart would be to compare certain items with each other. So if we would do, for example, coffee and tea, we can compare them. And let's say this one have caffeine, and then next it's commonly as a morning drink. Of course now not anymore. I guess these days we drink them all through the day. But anyway, doesn't matter. Flavor wise, it is sour. And then commonly, well, it is dark by default. And then it's usually hot, and it requires a coffee bean. So just put in here bean. So then we have this one. If I would save this now and refresh, we only have one single item here. So once I put in another item, then we have 2 items together. So I'm going to copy that, put in here. Make sure you have a comma here, And we're going to change this. Instead of coffee, we'll call it tea. And tea has a very sub-variant of caffeine. So I would say here caffeine. I would just maintain caffeine for now. It's a morning drink as well. What we can say here, usually is drinking sweetened, or sour is not really the right term for tea. It could be sour, it could be all kind of things, but I'll just leave it for that one. And then the color would be also dark. It's hot, and this here will be tea leaves. So once we have this one, and if I save this now and refresh, we can see here what is happening. We can see if we hover over it, we can see two specific items regarding to coffee. That's individual, which is sour and the bean. And then here for tea leaves, it is only the tea leaves, or basically tea has one distinctive difference compared to coffee. It's the tea leaves. And finally, if we are here, you can see coffee, and then what we have is this almost like an N shape. And basically, it's the interconnection with tea. So you connect tea and coffee, and what are they in between there? So we could say here 4 items are similar. They have caffeine, they're a morning drink, they're dark and hot. Alright, so we have this one now, and what would be very interesting is to add another one here. So we can increase our Venn diagram consistently. So what I want to do here now, add just one more item, and instead of tea, put a comma here and I'll paste that. I'm going to say here hot chocolate, or just chocolate milk. Chocolate milk. And then what I will say here is chocolate milk. I guess it's not caffeine, so that's the one we can exclude. Morning drink acceptable. Dark, that's okay. That's acceptable as well. Hot or cold. And of course, you might say with tea as well, of course, and coffee same as well. But for now, just for demo purposes, this one is basically cacao powder. What could we have here? Sweet. So if I save this now, then refresh, what happened is now we have multiple aspects here. So you can see here, this one is still all same, and then here in the center we have a connection between coffee, tea, and chocolate milk. And you can see it's morning drink, it's dark and hot. And then here you can see here the connection between tea and chocolate milk. There's none right now, so we can probably put one here. So what I will do here, just for the sake of it, to make them connected, I'll just say here sweet as well. So we could have sugar in our tea. If I do that, what happens now is we get the connection. It says, all right, these two are identical, or they correlate with one specific item, which is the sweetness. So then here between chocolate milk and coffee, so that we might add up here. And what I will say here, just milk. For example, I would say here milk. We will add up milk here, and then coffee. If we would have a cappuccino or a cafe latte, milk as well. So if I save this now, refresh, you can see here now we add up the milk. Once we have these things, so basically what the Venn chart does, it looks at every category, what is then in there, and if there would be anything matching with it. If it matches, it will combine them and move them into the matching item. For example, coffee, tea is caffeine. Well, here it was the sweetness, and then here we have here the milk. Alright, so what I want to do now is to give it a color. Because in here, if you see this structure, it's kind of weird to figure out where you can put the color. However, we can do it in here basically. So what I'm going to do here is the following. I'm going to say here, we can say here a border color. And the border color has this specific item here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab from chartjs3.com, getting started. I'm going to grab here just our colors. If I scroll down here, I'm going to copy this. So once copied, we're going to put it in here, and then I guess here you can just put in the border color. Alright, and then put it there. So now we have a color for the border. If I save this, refresh here, you can see we have this nice border color showing here. So we could do exactly the same here for the background color. I will copy this, put it in there. There we are. We have the background color. If I save that one as well, there we are. So now we have all these colors. Venn diagram, this is a default text, and we can change this as well. All we need to do here is, for example, put in here enter, and I'm going to say a label. And this label here can be comparing morning drinks or hot drinks. Well, I'm not sure if that's really good, but comparing drinks maybe might be better. Alright, so Let me check here what happened. Label, or does it need to be the labels? Well, let me double check. Oh, sorry, of course, it's not in here. So I'm going to remove this. We go up here. In here, we're going to put a comma. And in that comma, we need to be in this one here, in the bracket. And in there, I'm going to say the following. I'm going to put in here a new value, and we say here label. And this would be comparing hot drinks. Alright, save that. And now here, refresh, you can see here now comparing hot drinks. And you might say, well, why is this here not matching with this line here? Alright, that is basically because we need to indicate here in the options the border width. And the border width will be 1 pixel, comma, save, refresh. There we are, border width, there we are. So now we have everything, and this looks all beautiful. And you can see all these numbers here showing it nicely as well with all the items. And of course, as you add up, you can add up more, and then it will eventually extend as well with different items. And this is basically how we can create a Venn chart or Venn diagram in Chart.js. So if you enjoyed this video and maybe you want to learn also different type of charts, there are more different type of charts, such as this one here, for example, here in Chart.js, where we create a map or a map chart with the Chart.js Chart Geo plugin, which is very interesting as well.